Hello, hello, hello. I'm seeing that whenever I do energy work with people, it makes my eyes kind of water. And I had some mascara under my eyes from that. So yeah, I had a client today, super powerful session. I'm just blown away by the work that's happening and, just what I get to do and what I get to share with people. It's blowing me away. And, I've also been doing a lot of different work on me too, because, and learning new modalities, because in order to be, the best coach and healer that I can be, I want to stay on top of my own stuff. And I had a really powerful session today with a practitioner. Had a powerful session recently. I think it was yesterday. Time is just... had a very powerful session recently with my dear friend Patricia, who's an amazing healer as well. And there's just a lot of good things going on over here. And I wanted to come on and share because I kind of teased a little bit, but I didn't do the best job of teasing you on what's new. I was just so freaking excited that I just had to share it right away. And so some of you know, some of you maybe don't know. So I'm just going to get into that a little bit, what's coming and what is happening and what you can be a part of if you so choose. And so most of you probably know, I do retreats. And I've been teaching retreats now really since 2014, I guess. That was when my first retreat was, in 2014, which is kind of crazy. And I did a retreat in Topanga, California, where I was living at the time. It was okay. It was my first retreat. Now I think we're at 25, 26 retreats later. It's just insane. And some of you also know the story that I attended my very first yoga retreat in Bali, and it was it was something I'd found out about at the yoga studio I was going to at the time. And I went there, and I just remember watching the instructor leading us that whole week. And I felt in my heart I really wish I could do something like that, but I'll never be able to. I wasn't even a yoga teacher at the time. I really was that would be so cool, but I'll never be able to do that. And I love to tell that story because fast forward, it was, several years after that, but I am doing that. And, let that be inspiration for you. If you're seeing somebody do something and thinking, I wish I could do that, but I'll never be able to, call bullshit on yourself on that one, because, you can, it may not happen next week, may not happen next year. For me, it took me a few years before I was actually stepping into that role, because I had to gain confidence in myself. We have to also be realistic with ourselves on having goals and desires, that there are steps sometimes that we have to take. Sometimes they can happen instantly. And sometimes there's steps and belief changing and thought repatterning and recoding that needs to happen before you can step into that. So anyway, that's my little inspirational talk on if you have a desire to do something and you're telling yourself you can't, that's a lie. Anything's possible. I'm sure there's limitations on things. You may not be the next president, but, if you want to lead retreats or you want to write a book or start a business, you can. That is within your wheelhouse. There just needs to maybe be some steps you have to take, right? Anyway, okay, I digress. But I love to tell that story because it's so honoring of that desire that I knew. That's why I always tell people, your desires are there for a reason. They were put on your heart by God, source, universe, whatever you believe in. They're there for a reason. And whatever you can do, whatever baby steps you can take to follow that is so important, because Your desires are going to guide you towards, your best life. They really are. And so I had that desire to be a retreat leader before I was even a yoga teacher, before I was even anything, and didn't think it was ever possible for me. So what are you telling yourself that is impossible for you that actually is, maybe with some training, with some belief system work, whatever? Okay, got that off my chest. Your desires are freaking important. Listen to them. That's rule number one. If you're here, say hi. If you're watching, I love to always know. And if you're watching later, just say #replay. It's nice to know who stops by. So that was my little story about why I got into teaching retreats. It was just a desire I had. And eventually, years after that desire started forming, it started happening for me. And now we're at like 25 retreats later, and I love being able to, first and foremost, just take people to new places and let them have new experiences, spiritual experiences. I particularly love going to sacred energy vortexes and centers throughout the world and bringing people to those places, doing really powerful work with them, the work that I do with my one-on-one coaching and healing program that I do, the work that I just do in my, that I do in my daily life and daily work as well. And so I don't want people to see this as like, this is all I do now. It's like, I'm doing the same work that I do in my workshops, in my online programs, in my one-on-one coaching. We're just doing it somewhere else. And the key to doing it somewhere else, what's important about that is, one, you get to travel, which who does not love to travel? Two, you are doing it for a concentrated period of time, somewhere other than where you live. So you're being immersed in work, in self-growth, in transformational growth and personal growth and all of that, healing work, somewhere where you're not living, which is really a powerful point to make, because you are you're doing this work in a concentrated amount of time and over a period of days, rather than just like a session here or there. You're doing it all together at a time with other people who are also going through things similar to you, and you're away from your daily life. And that's the key piece to this. Being away from your daily routines, your daily stressors, work, your kids, all of the things that we have, our complexity of life that we have on our plate. You're able to do this work away from all of that. And when we're at home, our subconscious very easily goes into autopilot. And it just kind of like, y'all know this. You drive to work and like all of a sudden you're there and you're like, how did I even get to work? And it's because you just drove to work on autopilot, because you drive the same route every day. You probably get up and have the same routine or a very similar routine every morning and every night. And maybe you're stuck in some bad habits and patterns that we can get into when we're just kind of doing life on autopilot. And we all go there because our brains actually love autopilot. They live and love autopilot because they don't have to like work as hard. So when you change things up, when you change up your routine at home, or when you go somewhere else where everything is different, you're not in your home anymore, you're not surrounded by the same people doing the same things, change happens at a much more quantum accelerated level. And you're doing it in a community, which is one of the key aspects to healing, is having a community that you're doing it with. So there's a lot of, reasons to be on retreat doing this work. But not only that, we go to sacred sites where the concentrations of energy in those places, the ley lines in the land, ley lines are lines that run through the grid of the earth where there's concentrated amounts of energy. A lot of times people built churches and different structures that they used for rituals around these ley lines our ancestors knew about this stuff and, created ceremony and structures to utilize that energy. And a lot of us are waking up to kind of having a desire for these sacred codes and activations to awaken within us. And we're being called almost to these places. Give me a thumbs up or a like if you know what I'm talking about with that, because I know some of you all are attuned to those kinds of things and can feel like, I don't know why I'm just being called here. I don't know why this retreat looks interesting, but something in me really wants to go, even though I'm nervous and afraid. So just listen to that, just be curious about it and be open to it. But I wanted to share because as I kind of teased last Friday, there is a new piece coming. So you may have known that I'm doing a retreat to Ireland this coming August. This will be my second time leading this retreat. I took a group there in September of 2022. Amazing, powerful retreat that we went on. And we go to the sacred sites in Ireland. And so I'm doing that again this August. And as I was preparing, getting ready to buy my plane ticket to go to Ireland, I was thinking, well, what do I want to do? Do I want to do something different before or after? Oftentimes I'll use that as a way to travel somewhere else, to see some different places by myself before or after the retreat. I always like to give myself a good buffer of time to get over jet lag. So I was kind of looking into all that, and I really wanted to go visit the sacred sites of England by myself because ever since I heard about those, I wanted to go. This is the year of the dragon. It's a year to really get anything out of the way that's not aligned with who you are, so that you can really step into who you really are, step into your power fully. I mean, think about a dragon. It's powerful, it's big, it's fire breathing, it's, nobody messes with dragons. It's full power, right? That is very symbolic of what we're going through. So you in your life right now might be going through some sort of process. I feel like we're always going through a process, right? But to me, what I'm about this year in particular, since we've headed into the year of the dragon, which was around beginning of February, is the Chinese New Year. I've noticed that patterns that I've done a lot of healing work on myself over the years, but some of these patterns that were still kind of embedded and that I've been working through in various ways are now coming up in big ways and being dissolved in big ways. So it's that kind of a year where there's a lot of potentiality to dissolve these patterns and or heal them. Dissolving is an interesting word. It's I think a lot of us think that we need to get rid of things. You may never get rid of it, but it will dissolve to a point that it's not affecting you on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, if that makes sense. So I start talking and talking and talking. So I want to share about this retreat and also tell you some new things that are going to go on in the Ireland retreat, in case you were still thinking about that. There's a few spots left. So I wanted to go to England. I'm getting ready to look at the plane ticket, and I kind of hear from Spirit, I'm guided in a way, bring a group there, because let them experience this magic that you're going to go experience. And once again, I question it because I'm I already have a retreat happening. Do I really want to be doing 2 retreats? There's just all the questions, all the doubts that come up. I don't know if this is what I want to do, number one, if I should do this, can I do this? All the things. And I've learned over the years to trust that voice because it has created some pure magic experiences in my life, both personally, professionally. It's literally created the last few retreats I've done. By it, I just call it spirit, universal energy, divine flow, life force energy, whatever you want to call it. So I started just doing some research and was able to kind of put this retreat together in a pretty short amount of time, which is also my sign that it's meant to be, because that's how Ireland came together, that's how Italy came together, that's how Thailand came together. So, long story longer. On this retreat, we are going to so many places. There are so many sacred sites in England. There's also so many sacred sites in Ireland as well. And in my Ireland retreat, I'm also adding in we're going to be going to Brigid's Well, which is this sacred well from the goddess Brigid. And we'll be visiting that as well as some other sacred wells. There's an ancient Irish pyramid that Albert, my driver, found. Those of you that were on my last Ireland retreat, you all know Albert. He is famously known from that group. That's the first group that's met him. He's just such a special, lovely human. We're so lucky to have him. And the biggest surprise of all is that he's going to be the private driver on the England retreat. So he's going to be crossing the ferry to England to be the driver on this England retreat, which is just so freaking awesome. So those of you that were at Ireland last year or 2 years ago, be prepared for some more Albert if you want to join us this year. Those of you already signed up for Ireland, you are in for such a delightful experience. He's just delightful, as are most Irish people. I don't think I've met one that I didn't like. They're all just pleasant, delightful, lovely people, just beautiful, beautiful people. So those are the updates for Ireland, the Ireland retreat. So there's going to be more sacred sites added on that we've just found, and between Albert and I, we'll probably be creating more. And then for England, we're going to be going, so Glastonbury has been known to be, the veil is very thin there. It's also known as the heart chakra of the world, which is amazing. So it's really going to be a place to really open the heart chakra. We're going to be doing a lot of deep heart opening work together while we're there. I'll be leading everybody through that. And it's known as Avalon. So I just want to pull up a little bit here. Just some things that we're going to be doing so you can get an idea. But like when I say it's full on, so this retreat is actually shorter. It's only 5 nights, 6 days. And that's because I just want to keep it concentrated, and because I have another retreat happening. But, and stay tuned till the very end, because I do have an offer for you. So you're not going to want to miss that. So England, we are going to a lot of sacred sites. It's really going to be full on. I am kind of requesting people that want to do this retreat to maybe have a little bit of a buffer at the end. So maybe a day or two by yourself, at the end of the retreat. Maybe you stay in England, or if you fly back home right away, give yourself a couple days off of work a little bit more, because you're going to want to integrate all of this. We're going to have some integration the very last day, but you're going to want to have an integration period for yourself, because it's going to be, I don't want to say a lot physically, but like just energetically, spiritually, emotionally, there's going to be a lot of energy moving, because we're going to a lot of very highly concentrated places and literally staying in those places. Ireland is the same. We stay in Navan, which is the town right near where all the sacred sites are. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So, okay. So we are going to, I don't really need to tell you what we're doing. We're going to a lot of the sacred sites. And Glastonbury is known as the Isle of Avalon. There's a lot of legend there with King Arthur, a lot of mythology. It's a descendant. Glastonbury is a modern day descendant of the mystical land of Avalon and marks what would have been the entrance to the island. The energies of Avalon still exist in the area, and it remains a place of spiritual renewal and rejuvenation. So, also surrounding the area of Glastonbury are a lot of ancient sites and spiritual sacred spaces. And in pre-Christian times, this mystical area was once known as the site of the College of the Inner Initiates and a great center of the Druidic faith. It has always been a place of spiritual renewal where successive generations of initiates maintain their connection with inner power through the centuries. With the support of this lineage, we'll be meditating at Glastonbury's sacred places, plus day tripping to the areas, other areas that have incredible power. So we're going to be staying in 2 locations for this retreat. One is a town outside of Glastonbury called Salisbury. Literally the place we're staying is in a college. We're staying in a college. So those of you that have been to college, it'll be like going back in time. And literally right behind the college is the cathedral, which is this known place to go to in Salisbury where we're staying. And it's actually, it's the Blessed Virgin Mary's cathedral. So those of you that came to Italy with me, you know how powerful all the Mother Mary places we went to in Italy were. This is yet another one that we're going to actually be staying like literally right next to. So on the same kind of grounds and land as this Mother Mary Cathedral. So I'm like very excited about that. There's stone circles. Stonehenge is a very popular one. There's also a not as popular one there called Avebury, and that's where there's even more sacred sites. A lot to do there. There's a lot to do in Glastonbury. Then we will be driving to Boscastle, and that is outside of Cornwall, and there's some more sacred sites there. When we drive there, we will be at the English Sea. So there's going to be a day to be at the beach, which will be really an afternoon at least to be at the beach and relax before our next day of more sacred sites. So literally everything we're doing in the England retreat is sacred site related. So you're going to be on all these power centers of the earth. I can't tell you how excited I am to be there. And I've got double that with going to Ireland. So, some of you might want to come to both. I'm sure that doesn't work for everybody, but it might work for you. I'm extremely excited to be this year, this pivotal year of really stepping into your power, aligning to the truth of who you are, letting go of anything that's not in alignment with the truth of the universe, not just the truth of who you are, the truth of the damn universe. Letting go of anything that's not that truth happens so much faster when we're on these sacred sites, in these beautiful sacred places with these concentrated energies. I cannot stress that enough. So that's mostly the gist of that retreat. And we'll be doing lots of work. The work I do with people, we'll be doing that. We're staying at this beautiful place in Boscastle, which is right along a river, close to the sea. It's gorgeous. The other place we're staying in is a college, as I said before. So the college is going to have pretty standard rooms, but we're right on the energy and those ley lines of Mother Mary. And we're really close to Stonehenge, which is the big energy center of that area. So we're going to be accessing that energy even while we sleep. So there's going to be a lot going on. The dates for that are August 8th through the 13th. And if you are feeling called to that retreat, I am offering for a very short time $300 off. So the listed price, $300 off the listed price. And I just have to pull up my calendar here. That will be until March 27th. So just for 2 weeks, there's $300 off the price. So I may change my mind on that. The prices in England are, different. But the price is going to go up on the retreat. So for the next 2 weeks, you can get $300 off if you put your deposit down. I did change my deposits. They're only $500. If you want to do half a deposit, I've even let people do that. They did half 1 month, the other half the other month. If you want to do a payment plan, if I know you personally, if you've worked with me before, if you've come on a retreat with me before, and maybe it's like, I really want to be there, but finances are just, they are what they are. If you want to do a payment plan with me that extends past the date of the retreat, the date the retreat ends, we can talk about that beforehand, obviously, to find what would work for you and me and figure out a plan. But I just wanted to let those two things be known, that there are payment plans available. You can split the deposit in half if you'd like. And, if you feel called, if you feel drawn to this work, if something in you feels excited about it and you want to explore that more, you want to talk about it, you want to ask questions, whatever, we can hop on a call and do that. But it is a powerful year to be doing some personal growth work, to elevate yourself, to really become aligned with the truth. That's just the whole point of it, aligned with the truth. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. I think that's all I have to say right now. There's still a few spots left for Ireland. I felt that coming. A few spots left for Ireland. Glastonbury, England. I'm just calling it Glastonbury. It's really kind of like a concentrated area. There are availability there. Couple weeks to get a discount if you sign up, and that is all I think I have to say. But I'm just really excited to share this with you, excited for those of you that end up saying yes to this, that know it's like, oh, this is a soul calling. Just reach out to me. We can talk about things. Let's make it work for you. All right. Thank you so much for